Let me ask you something, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. What if I were to tell you that the answer you've been desperately searching for, the secret to reclaiming your life force, isn't hiding in a pharmacy or at the bottom of a punishing gym routine? What if I told you that one of the most profoundly effective ways to recover your leg strength, especially if you've been haunted by that creeping feeling of slowness, that frustrating weakness, or that bone-deep increased fatigue that just won't quit, does not come from the gym or a pill, but rather from your very own kitchen? What would you imagine? Would you even believe it? It sounds almost too simple, too good to be true in our world of complicated solutions, doesn't it? But stick with me, because what I'm about to share is not wishful thinking. It's a revolution in understanding our own bodies. In point of fact, and this is where it gets truly exciting, recent studies, rigorous peer-reviewed scientific studies, have demonstrated beyond a shadow of a doubt that a single humble food, when consumed at precisely the appropriate time and in the most powerful combination, can begin to fundamentally revitalize your neuromuscular performance. It's not magic, it's biology at its most brilliant. Let's begin this journey with a startling finding, a piece of research so impactful it should be headline news everywhere. This finding was uncovered in a groundbreaking study published in the prestigious Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Can you guess what they found? The researchers observed that there were tangible, measurable improvements in muscle protein synthesis and mitochondrial activity in persons over the age of 50 who had simply ingested a particular type of nutrient-rich diet. Think about that for a second. We're talking about the very engines of your body. These, your mitochondria, your protein synthesis pathways, are the biological engines that are responsible for every ounce of your energy, for your body's amazing capacity for recuperation, and for your raw physical strength. This is especially true and critically important in your legs, which so cruelly are frequently the first place to exhibit those devastating indications of loss as we get older. We've all felt it, haven't we? That little hesitation before standing up, that slight wobble, that feeling that our foundation is no longer as solid as it once was. And please understand this. In this case, mobility and beauty are not the only considerations, not by a long shot. This goes so much deeper. It is about something that is far more fundamental, something that touches the very core of who you are. We are talking about your independence, the glorious freedom to move through the world on your own terms. We are talking about your self-confidence, the quiet power that comes from knowing your body can support you. And we're talking about your lasting capacity to live a full, vibrant, and engaged life. When the strength in the legs disappears, my friend, everything shifts. It's a slow, heartbreaking erosion of your world. Ascending a simple flight of stairs is suddenly a more difficult, heart-pounding task, each step a mountain to be conquered. When your precious sense of equilibrium is disrupted, your energy level doesn't just dip. It plummets, leaving you feeling drained and defeated before the day has even truly begun. On top of that, what's the common refrain we hear from everyone, even doctors? So many individuals tragically attribute it all to the natural, inevitable process of aging. They sigh, they shrug, and they accept it as their fate. But what if that's a lie? What if that's not the whole story? Here is the reality. The empowering, life-altering truth. The most important factor in the devastating decrease of muscle mass is not your age. Can you believe it? It's not about the number of candles on your birthday cake. The real culprits are far more insidious, but also far more controllable. We're talking about chronic undernourishment at the cellular level, a quiet starvation happening inside you that you might not even be aware of. We're talking about persistent, low-grade inflammation, a smoldering fire that constantly damages your tissues. And we're talking about circadian rhythms that are not aligned properly, throwing your body's natural repair cycles into total chaos. That is to say, it is not your age according to the calendar that is failing you. Your biology is to blame. And the best part, you can change your biology. It all comes down to this. It is absolutely critical to pay attention to what you consume when you consume it. And most importantly, how it interacts with the intricate, beautiful dance between your neurological system and your muscles. So, are you ready to become the master of your own biology? During this episode, we are going to investigate the incredible neurobiology and the fascinating physiology that lies behind a single food, a food that is easily accessible, affordable, and has the staggering potential to significantly improve your leg function, particularly when it is utilized in a strategic, intelligent manner. You won't just learn a fun fact, you will acquire profound knowledge on the food composition that literally supercharges neuromuscular repair. How amazing is that? We'll uncover the secrets. In what ways does this miraculous diet restore mitochondrial efficiency, reigniting those critical energy producers in your muscles? What part does the powerful language of amino acid signaling play in the incredible process of recovering your muscle density? And because of the undeniable influence that your circadian clock has on how well this diet functions, we will pinpoint exactly when to do it for the most possible earth-shattering impact. In addition, I will give you a step-by-step procedure that you can begin right away today to start reclaiming your strength. I promise you, this is not a hoax, a gimmick, or some empty promise. Rather, it is science at its most practical and empowering. And here's another thing to keep in mind, a little secret to hold on to. If you have the correct tools, your body has an innate, powerful capacity to recover much, much more quickly than you might ever believe is possible. So let's jump right in. For the longest time, for several decades, in fact, our belief was that muscle loss was all about atrophy. That was the primary accepted cause of muscle loss with advancing age, the simple contraction, the shrinking of muscle fibers as a direct result of inactivity or a decrease in hormone levels. It seemed to make sense, right? Use it or lose it. But neuroscience, the incredible field that studies our body's command center, is currently painting a completely different image, a picture that is so significantly more optimistic and, most importantly, significantly more actionable for every single one of us. The following is what the researchers are discovering, and it is a total game changer. You may believe, you may feel with every fiber of your being that you have lost a significant amount of muscle, but in reality, much of it is only disconnected. It's not gone. It's just offline. The findings of the research are as follows, and this is truly mind-blowing. The motor neurons, these are the electrical wires that connect your brain and your spinal cord to your muscles, particularly those in your legs, begin to degenerate or lose their efficacy as early as your 40s. This is a silent process that starts much earlier than we think. As a result of this tragic disconnect, the electrical signaling volume is decreased. Imagine turning down the volume on a stereo. The music is still there, but you can barely hear it. That is to say, the muscles simply do not receive the command to contract in its whole. The command from the brain gets muffled and weak along the way. The muscles themselves exist. They are there ready and waiting, but they are not doing anything because they aren't getting the message. Can you see the hope in this? It means that adults who are experiencing a heartbreaking decline in their leg strength still have the structural potential for powerful muscle activity. According to the findings of a truly groundbreaking study conducted by the brilliant minds at the University of Calgary, the real issue at issue was the transmission of neuromuscular signals. To put it another way, the muscle was not dead or vanished. Rather, it was just doing nothing. It was dormant. And this incredible finding indicates that it is absolutely possible to get it back online. Does this sound familiar? Did you ever have that terrifying feeling of unsteadiness for no apparent reason when you rose up from a chair? Or do you find that your legs, which once carried you everywhere without a second thought, now become fatigued more quickly than they used to, even though you have not altered your daily routine in the slightest? That's not just the natural process of aging, I'm telling you. It's a physical breakdown in neuronal connectivity. And the good news, the absolutely fantastic news, is that there is a solution to fix it for you. A vital and important part of this is played by your spinal cord. It's not just a passive cable. In addition to performing the crucial function of a relay station for your movement commands, it is fundamentally dependent on continual, unwavering, nutrient-driven support in order to keep its data integrity intact. It needs the right fuel to do its job properly. Here's a great way to picture it. When you think of your leg muscles, you should see them as a group of highly skilled, eager workers on a construction site. And your nervous system. That should be the foreman, the boss, who is giving clear, loud commands through a megaphone. But what happens if the foreman gets tired, if the battery in his megaphone is running low? The performance of the megaphone will suffer. The commands will be crackly weak, or maybe won't come through at all. The skilled workers will just stand around confused and idle. However, and this is the key, if you are able to recharge that battery, the crew will be able to resume their task with full force, almost instantly. One of the quickest, most direct ways to accomplish this is to provide the neuromuscular junction, that critical microscopic point at which your nerves and muscles connect with the essential nutrients that restore the effectiveness of the signaling process. You're literally recharging the foreman's megaphone. Can you believe that it only takes a few hours for certain amino acids for essential B vitamins and for acetylcholine precursors to bring about a significant, noticeable improvement in this vital link? And the food that we are concentrating on is the ultimate source of this information, this life-giving charge. You will find that this incredible food is not only wonderfully rich in protein, but it also has the specific targeted nutrients that your nervous system desperately needs in order to regenerate its communication lines. This means that if you consume this food, you are not only nourishing your muscles, you are also fundamentally reactivating them. You are waking them up from their long slumber. So how do we put this into practice? Before you start worrying about the long, hard road of gaining more muscle, you should first determine whether or not your neural system is truly making use of the precious muscle that you already possess. It's a paradigm shift. When it comes to the pervasive issue of leg weakness, the signal quality is frequently far more important than the muscle quantity. It's not about having bigger muscles, it's about having smarter, better connected muscles. In this section, we will go deeper into the miracle amino acid leucine, which is considered to be one of the most critical nutrients for reactivating this entire system. And we will explore exactly how it operates as a powerful molecular on-switch for your strength. But first, if you find that this incredible new perspective is allowing you to perceive your body in a fresh, hopeful light, if you're feeling that spark of empowerment, you might want to consider subscribing to the channel. This channel is dedicated to one mission, transforming scientific knowledge into your personal power. We believe that every single insight that is gained should be a tool in your hands. Now, think about this. Once you have finished eating, there is a brief, critical period of time in which your body starts to actively look for signals. These signals are not limited to just calories for energy. They also include specific molecular cues that instruct it on what to do next: repair, build, or rest. And the amino acid leucine is one of the most potent, most powerful signals that it actively searches for. It's a command your body is waiting to hear. One of the most important essential amino acids is called leucine. Essential means that your body is unable to produce it on its own. Therefore, you must obtain it from the consumption of food. But its true significance extends far, far beyond the realm of just basic nourishment. In the scientific community, leucine is revered. It is referred to as an anabolic trigger. What does that mean? It means it communicates directly to your cells that it is time for them to grow, to repair, to expand. It's the starting gun for rebuilding your body. The findings of the research are as follows, and this is where the science gets really cool. One of the cellular pathways that is directly activated by leucine is called mTOR, which is an abbreviation for the mammalian target of rapamycin. Don't worry about the name. Just think of it as the master control tower for muscle building in your body. The synthesis of muscle protein is regulated by this critical root, which functions as that control tower. So think of mTOR as the internal master switch that activates your body's innate capacity to make or repair muscle tissue, while leucine is the powerful finger that confidently flips that switch to on. Even in older adults who are often told that building muscle is impossible, researchers revealed that a single meal that was high in leucine could greatly enhance mTOR activity and dramatically stimulate muscle protein synthesis. This isn't just a theory. This was demonstrated in a landmark study that was published in the Journal of Nutrition. In light of the frustrating fact that our muscles become more resistant to these anabolic or building signals as we get older, this finding is really truly important. It's the key that unlocks the door that age tries to close. However, the amazing news is that leucine has the unique ability to combat this resistance head-on. It is one of the very few nutrients that has been scientifically demonstrated to have this profound effect. Have you ever eaten a meal you thought was healthy, one that was heavy in protein, yet afterward you still experienced those familiar nagging feelings of fatigue or weakness in your legs? Have you ever wondered why? The problem might not be the amount of protein you ate, but rather the quality of the leucine within that protein and the timing of its consumption. You see, inadvertently, a significant number of elderly people ingest just enough protein to prevent the catastrophic breakdown of their muscles, but not nearly enough leucine to actively stimulate the growth of new muscle. They are stuck in a state of maintenance or slow decline, never getting that powerful signal to build. Because of this critical distinction, the time of your protein consumption and the source of your protein are incredibly important considerations. It's time to eat smarter, not just more. Are you ready for the secret? Are you ready to hear just how easy this can be? Because what I'm about to share with you is not some complex, grueling regimen. On the contrary, it is a straightforward instrument to use, a tool so simple and elegant, you'll wonder why no one ever explained it this way before. It all begins with a conscious, deliberate choice you make every single morning. Are you listening? You have to make sure that the first major meal of the day is lovingly and intentionally centered around a food source that is absolutely packed, overflowing with the miracle amino acid, leucine. This isn't just about eating breakfast. This is about sending a powerful, undeniable signal to every cell in your body. It's like a CEO walking into the corporate headquarters and declaring, "All right, team, the workday starts now. It's time to build." You are literally telling your body that the time for slumber and decay is over, and the time for rebuilding and regeneration has begun. So where do you find this magical messenger molecule? You don't have to go on an expensive quest to a specialty health food store. You'll find it in the most wonderfully familiar places. Some of the very best foods, the ones that have the highest and most potent levels of leucine, are glorious, satisfying animal proteins, such as eggs, those perfect little orbs of life. Cattle think of a nourishing, hearty steak or lean ground beef. Poultry, like a simple, delicious grilled chicken breast, and especially for a supercharged boost whey protein. Now, I want you to reframe how you see these foods. They aren't just calories, they are information. That morning omelet isn't just food. It's a command to your muscles to wake up and get stronger. That piece of chicken at lunch isn't just fuel, it's a delivery of essential building blocks to the construction site of your body. Isn't that an incredibly empowering way to think about eating? You hold the power to instruct your body with every single bite. And what exactly is this command doing? In order to activate the all-important mTOR pathway, that master control switch for muscle growth we talked about, and to courageously initiate muscle repair on a cellular level, it is amazingly sufficient to consume a mere 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine. That's it. That tiny amount is the key that starts the engine. And this precious dose may be obtained by consuming approximately 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. It's so achievable, it's right there within your grasp. However, I know life is busy, and sometimes we need an express lane to strength. So if you are looking for a more expedient, a more direct and faster method, then pure whey protein isolate is undeniably one of the most effective and efficient ways to accomplish this. Why? Because leucine and the other essential amino acids that work in perfect harmony with it are present in the absolute optimal proportions in this incredible product. It's like a perfectly composed symphony of muscle-building nutrients. When it comes to the urgent mission of fast-restoring muscular function, this is precisely the reason why top-tier athletes who depend on their bodies for their livelihood and forward-thinking clinicians who care deeply for older citizens are increasingly, and with incredible results, turning to it. They know the secret, however, and I need you to lean in and hear this because it's the most important part of our entire journey together. This is not only about recovering muscle mass. It's not just about building bigger biceps or stronger quads. It is also, and so much more profoundly, about reconnecting with people. But even before you can reconnect with others, you must first reconnect with yourself, because there is so much more going on in the sacred space between your brain and your muscles than just growth after you consume a meal that is rich in leucine. The real problem, the silent, heartbreaking tragedy of muscle weakness, is that communication is the issue. That beautiful instantaneous dialogue between mind and body has broken down. But with every leucine-rich meal, a vibrant biochemical dialogue between your nervous system and your muscle fibers is being tenderly and powerfully restored as a result of your active participation. You are literally teaching your brain and your body to talk to each other again. Furthermore, the quicker that crucial discussion picks up again, the faster that vibrant conversation is reestablished, the quicker that your legs, your very foundation, begin to feel stable, strong, and wonderfully, electrifyingly alive once more. Can you imagine that feeling? The feeling of trusting your own body again, of knowing it will be there for you when you need it. Now let's talk about the messenger himself. The brilliant neurotransmitter that physically orders your muscles to move, the one that turns a thought into an action is a molecule called acetylcholine. This incredible chemical is going to be the subject of our next discussion as we move on to the second vital component of this powerful equation. We're going to dive deep into acetylcholine and the particular diet that refills its stores more quickly, more effectively than the vast majority of expensive supplements on the market. And just for a moment, if you're finding that these ideas are sparking hope, if these concepts feel helpful and are resonating deep within you, you might want to consider giving the video a like. It may seem like a small thing, but it sends a powerful message. This not only helps us here offer these science-backed strength tools to more individuals out there who are in desperate need of them, but it also ensures that the algorithm in its own way knows that this information is important and valuable. It helps this message of hope find the people who need to hear it most. Now think about this. A signal is sent from your brain whenever you make a simple decision to move, whether it is to stand up from your favorite armchair, to take a confident step across the room, or to get up from a chair at the dinner table. It's a constant flowing stream of intention. On the other hand, that initial electrical signal does not communicate directly with your muscles. It needs a translator. In the very beginning, that thought is converted into acetylcholine, which is a powerful chemical messenger protein. Think of it as the certified letter that delivers an urgent command. Acetylcholine is the specific neurotransmitter that is thought to be solely responsible for neuromuscular transmission. This is the very specific magical method by which a signal, a mere intention in your brain, is translated into powerful physical action in your muscles. It's the bridge between thought and reality. And without sufficient amounts of it, what happens? Your muscles will not fire as they should. It's a tragedy. They fail to respond. They misfire with a weak and frustrating tremble, or they simply fail to respond at all, leaving you feeling powerless and betrayed by your own body. And with each passing year, with every turn of the calendar page, the significance of this fact grows ever more urgent. It's a sobering truth that the production of acetylcholine and the sensitivity of its receptors both gradually silently decrease over time. This isn't speculation. This is according to countless studies, and the decline is particularly pronounced in the motor neurons that are related to the legs. This is one of the primary, though often overlooked reasons why even little startling lapses in balance or a delayed, sluggish muscular reaction become increasingly and frighteningly common in people who are approaching their senior years. But the science, however, the beautiful, hopeful science, begins to get really interesting at this point. It has been demonstrated through incredible research that choline, which is the direct precursor, the raw material for building acetylcholine, has the miraculous ability to quickly restore this signaling capacity. Isn't that fantastic news? Fantastic? It was powerfully emphasized in a comprehensive review that was published in the esteemed journal Nutrients that simply increasing the amount of choline in one's diet can dramatically improve acetylcholine production, particularly when the brain is actively demanding motor coordination. You are giving your body the exact tool it needs right when it needs it. So where do we find this miracle worker? What kind of food provides you this unbelievable advantage? It's the humble, perfect egg. To be more specific, the golden, nutrient-dense yolks are the natural source of choline that is the most abundant and bioavailable on the planet. The consumption of just 2 whole eggs, something so simple and delicious, can provide your body with more than 300 milligrams of powerful choline, which is then swiftly transformed into acetylcholine and contributes directly to the profound restoration of the entire motor control pathway. And let me be clear, this is not merely a well-known folksy truth about nutrition that your grandmother told you. It is a powerful science-backed protocol that works normally and reliably. So in the event that you are someone who experiences those terrifying tremors, that unnerving instability, or a decreased sense of power when you are walking or standing, or if you have discovered to your dismay that your legs are slow to respond, you must give this straightforward morning routine a try. It's so simple. Consume 2 whole eggs, preferably in conjunction with a powerhouse protein that is high in leucine, such as a scoop of whey protein in a smoothie or a side of creamy cottage cheese. How come? Why this specific combination? And why in the morning? It's a brilliant question, and the answer is pure biological elegance. It's because acetylcholine synthesis tends to be naturally low after a long night of sleep. Your tank is on empty. Your motor neurons are far more receptive, like thirsty sponges to nutritional input in the morning when that acetylcholine synthesis is generally at its lowest. You are delivering this precious cargo at the precise moment when your body is most in need of it. You are providing your body with the exact raw material it requires to re-establish powerful, confident neuromuscular command. Have you ever noticed, after eating a hearty, high-protein breakfast, how much more confident and secure you feel when using your steps? How the ground feels more solid beneath your feet? I promise you, this is not a placebo at all. This is the direct, tangible result of your central nervous system firing with a greater, more profound degree of accuracy. You feel it because it's real. And there is so much more to choline than just supporting your muscles. That's just the beginning. The entire communication channel between your brain and your legs is being fundamentally upgraded as a result of this simple action. And please do not be concerned if you are on a plant-based diet, or if, for any reason, you do not consume eggs. We would never leave you out. For additional sources of powerful choline foods like quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans are also good and worthy options. In contrast, it's just a scientific fact that egg yolks have the maximum bioavailability, a term which refers to how well and how efficiently your body is able to absorb and actually metabolize the substance. But here's one further thing to note. A bonus prize if you will. Acetylcholine is not only responsible for activating muscles. However, it also plays a tremendously significant role in learning memory and concentration. Can you believe it? Consequently, when you restore the levels of acetylcholine in your brain, you are simultaneously enhancing both your physical control and your cognitive clarity, which is an absolute double win for aging positively and powerfully. Now, the following section will focus on another critically important link in this amazing chain of restoration, which is the undeniable relationship between your blood flow and your leg strength. Additionally, we will discuss a vibrant, earthy food that improves circulation to such a profound extent that it is currently being researched as a potential natural treatment for both vascular dementia and performance weariness. If you are truly dedicated to restoring your strength and your clarity, please click the subscribe button. I know we are only getting started on this journey, but each segment builds powerfully on the previous one, providing you with real actionable tools that are designed to operate in the chaos and beauty of your everyday life. Okay, beginning right now, I want you to just picture yourself in your backyard, attempting to cultivate a beautiful, thriving garden, while the hose that supplies its life-giving water is kinked and choked off. What would happen? It makes no difference how fertile the soil is, how perfect your compost is, or how much glorious sunlight you give the plants. They cannot flourish. They will wither. Well, on the interior of your muscles, and particularly in your legs, this is exactly what takes place as we get older. The precious arteries and tiny capillaries that supply our lower limbs with blood frequently get more constricted, more rigid, and far less responsive. This tragic situation occurs not only when blood flow becomes restricted or inefficient, but also for other complex reasons. This bottleneck hinders the delivery of precious oxygen. It slows the transportation of life-giving nutrients, and it blocks the removal of metabolic waste, which are three absolutely essential components of muscular function and speedy recovery. And what is the end result of this internal drought? It's that all too familiar leg pain, the kind that is characterized by a heavy leaden feeling, a deep-seated fatigue, or a frustratingly delayed response. Even if you are a champion and you consume a suitable amount of protein and you engage in regular physical activity, a state of poor circulation can subtly and cruelly undermine all of your best efforts. But what if we could unkink that hose? The key is a magnificent molecule called nitric oxide, also known as NO, and it is the primary molecule that controls the healthy dilation of your blood vessels. Deep inside your endothelial cells, which are the delicate, intelligent cells that line your blood arteries, there is a gas that is created naturally. This gas communicates directly with your blood vessels, telling them when it's time to relax, to widen, and to enable more rich, nourishing blood to flow through them. It's the body's own vasodilator. And it is absolutely amazing to learn that the creation of nitric oxide is so strongly reliant on the foods that you choose to consume. And what is one of the most potent natural boosters on the planet? It's beets. That's right. Humble, earthy beets. Beets, particularly when they are consumed raw or in a concentrated juice form, are a powerhouse source of dietary nitrates, which are then brilliantly converted into nitric oxide by your own body. Is there proof? You bet there is. According to the findings of an incredible study that was conducted and published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, older persons who ingested beetroot juice had a considerable, undeniable boost in leg muscular power. This incredible gain was particularly noticeable in their fast-twitch fibers, which are the very fibers that are so critical for maintaining your balance and preventing devastating falls. And please believe me, there is no such thing as a marginal gain here. We're not talking about a tiny, insignificant improvement. In real-world movement testing, in walking speed tests, in chair stand tests, and even in stair climbing, the benefits were so significant they were easily measurable. This is real-world change. So here is another straightforward instrument that you can make use of. Approximately 90 minutes before engaging in any kind of physical exercise, simply consume 1 to 2 medium-sized beets, or drink about 250 to 300 ml of pure beetroot juice. Why then, because of this timing, the nitrates have the perfect opportunity to transition into nitric oxide and start the wonderful process of increasing vasodilation right when you need it most. Want to take it to the next level? Of course you do. This should be combined with 20 minutes of light, enjoyable action, such as going for a brisk stroll, some light cycling, or a few minutes of dynamic stretching. Movement itself is a powerful stimulant of nitric oxide generation, particularly in situations where your body is already saturated with those wonderful dietary nitrates from the beets. Imagine that you are ramping up the water pressure and priming the hose at the exact same time. Now, I know there are some people who are concerned about the sugar content of beets. Let me put your mind at ease. The glycemic load of beets is relatively modest, and the incredible performance benefit much overcomes any tiny spike that may occur when they are ingested before activity. If you're still worried, you might also try pairing them with a source of protein or some greens that are high in fiber to help you cope with this. When you discover that this life-changing knowledge is helpful to you, you should truly think about subscribing. Rather than trying to overwhelm you with a flood of information, we go deeply into these powerful evidence-based techniques, such as this one, in order to truly equip you for life. Every video we create is intended to convey scientific information that you can start using right now to experience a profound sense of increased strength, mental sharpness, and confident control over your own body. And in the following part, we will discuss inflammation, which is one of the most misunderstood and sinister aspects of muscle loss, as well as how a single vibrant food category can act like a fire extinguisher to put out the persistent, low-grade fire that is silently reducing your leg strength from the inside out. Listen closely. Even while you might not be able to feel it directly, it is present always there, like a low and consistent, annoying hum in the background of your life. Persistent chronic inflammation is what I'm referring to here. Now, chronic inflammation is not the same thing as acute inflammation, which is obvious red and painful and happens after a clear injury like a sprained ankle. No, chronic inflammation is far more subtle and systemic, and it gradually insidiously declines muscle function over time, particularly in the legs. It's a silent thief. The findings of the research are absolutely clear on this. It is possible for even very low levels of chronic inflammation to cause a dramatic reduction in the capacity of your muscles to regenerate themselves, to gain strength, and to improve their coordination. In a sobering study that was conducted and published in the prestigious Journals of Gerontology, it was discovered that increased levels of inflammatory markers in the blood, specifically C-reactive protein CRP and interleukin-6 IL-6, were strongly and directly associated with decreased muscle mass and strength in older adults. And here's the kicker. This was the case even when the participants' levels of physical activity and their nutrition appeared to be perfectly adequate. This silent fire was sabotaging all their good work. It's a hidden enemy that you have to face to win this battle for your health. So what will be going on inside of your body when this takes place? What is this silent, invisible war that's being waged within you, leaving you feeling tired, weak, and a shadow of your former self? Let's pull back the curtain and expose this enemy for what it is. This insidious chronic inflammation impairs the function of your precious mitochondria, which, as you know, are the very engines, the literal power plants in every single one of your cells that fuel your muscle contractions. Inflammation is like a thick, toxic sludge being poured over these beautiful engines, choking them, suffocating them, preventing them from burning fuel efficiently. It does this by directly interfering with the sacred process of muscle protein synthesis, halting your body's ability to repair and rebuild itself. It dramatically increases oxidative stress, which is like causing your cells to rust from the inside out. And it mercilessly disrupts overall mitochondrial function, dimming the lights on your body's power grid. Can you feel the injustice in that? The very source of your energy is being systematically dismantled. In addition to this devastating direct assault, it also hinders the capacity of your neurological system to effectively recruit muscle fibers. Remember our foreman with the megaphone. Inflammation messes with his signal. It puts static on the line, which means that even if the muscle is present, even if those skilled workers are standing there ready and willing to work, the signal that is supposed to activate them becomes frustratingly less powerful. It's a whisper when it needs to be a roar. At this point, after hearing about this devastating internal battle, we finally come to the surprise portion, the part of our story where hope dawns in the most unexpected of places. And I promise you, it is not in the supplement section of your health food store, amongst the endless aisles of expensive pills and powders, that we find one of the most effective, most powerful tools that we have at our disposal for putting out this ongoing destructive fire. Where is it then? Can you guess you'll find it in your own home? In your produce drawer is where you will find this miraculous solution. That's right. Dark leafy greens are now available to come to your rescue. Isn't that just beautiful in its simplicity? We're talking about vibrant spinach, mighty kale, peppery arugula, earthy chard, and zesty mustard greens. These are just some examples of these everyday heroes, this verdant army awaiting your command. In addition to being ridiculously rich in the nutrients your body craves, these greens are also tremendously, almost magically effective in reducing that simmering, damaging inflammation. How do they do it? They are absolutely loaded with high concentrations of powerful compounds like polyphenols, the miraculous life-giving chlorophyll that gives them their emerald hue, essential magnesium, and crucial nitrate components. All of these natural wonders are known to work in perfect synergy to support and enhance the capacity of your body to downregulate those destructive inflammatory pathways. It's like sending in a highly trained elite firefighting crew to calm the flames. And to get even more specific, it has been demonstrated through incredible research that the mighty polyphenol known as quercetin, which may be found in abundance in mustard greens and kale, has the astonishing ability to directly block inflammatory messengers called cytokines, such as IL-6 and TNF-alpha. Think of quercetin as a master strategist that intercepts the enemy's communication lines, preventing them from calling in reinforcements and escalating the inflammatory attack. It's just so brilliant. And this isn't just a theory. According to a landmark study that was published in the prestigious journal Frontiers in Pharmacology, it was definitively shown that consuming foods that are rich in quercetin on a daily basis can significantly lower inflammation markers in the blood, particularly when this simple dietary change is accompanied with moderate, enjoyable exercise. You have the power to calm the storm inside you. So how do you turn this knowledge into action? Incorporating at least one heaping cup of dark, leafy greens into your first meal of the day is a profoundly straightforward regimen that is supported by an absolute mountain of abundant scientific evidence. It's one of the simplest and most impactful things you can do for your long-term health. But why is this the first meal? Why is the timing so important? It's mainly due to the fact that this act assists in establishing the foundation in setting the tone for the entire day for the regulation of inflammation throughout your precious circadian rhythm. What is that? It's the internal 24-hour clock that meticulously controls your immunological and hormonal responses. By starting your day with these greens, you are essentially telling your body's master clock, today we are choosing peace. Today we are choosing to be anti-inflammatory. And here's a pro tip. If you really want to improve your body's ability to absorb all the fat-soluble antioxidant goodness, like vitamin K and beta-carotene from these greens, try combining them with a source of delicious, healthy fat, like a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil or a few slices of creamy avocado. Additionally, for another boost, you could try adding a fresh squeeze of lemon or a splash of apple cider vinegar to improve your digestion and dramatically increase the amount of nutrients that you are able to take in from these amazing foods. It's about working smarter, not harder. Now, it is critically important to point out that these foods do not have the same immediate sledgehammer effect as painkillers. This isn't about masking the pain. It's about healing the problem at its source. So no, you will not feel the benefit immediately after your first kale smoothie. This is a long-term strategy of love and care for your body. However, and this is the beautiful promise, there is a very strong possibility that you will experience less discomfort, a faster and more efficient recuperation from activity, more stable, consistent energy throughout your day, and a profoundly rejuvenated feeling of power and lightness in your legs over the course of time. It is at this very point that nutrition completely transforms from being a mere source of fuel into a powerful, elegant signal that actively regulates the body. This food is information. It is a message that lets your immune system know that we are safe, that the crisis is over, and that you can finally turn off the blaring alarms and stand down. You can turn off the power to the inflammatory process. What a beautiful gift to give yourself. And in the following section, we are going to discuss something that the vast majority of people, even health-conscious people, completely and utterly ignore: the incredible way in which the time of your meals can either dramatically speed up or tragically slow down the entire restorative process of your muscles and your leg strength, particularly as you get older. You see, the food you consume is simply one hugely important aspect of the complex and beautiful equation when it comes to the grand mission of restoring strength in your legs. But the timing of your meals, the when you eat, may be just as significant, if not more so, particularly as we become older and our bodies need a little more intelligent guidance. It is absolutely important to understand that whenever you take a meal that contains protein, you set off a magnificent process, a cascade of renewal that is referred to as muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. It is through this miraculous biological process that your body is able to heal damaged muscle tissue and courageously develop new, stronger muscle tissue. To put it as simply as possible, your body is essentially hearing a beautiful, clear message saying, "Let's grow. Let's get stronger. Let's rebuild." The difficulty, however, the cruel trick that time plays on us, is that as we become older, the strength and clarity of that signal tragically decreases. This is because of a frustrating process known as anabolic resistance, a condition which occurs when your muscles become less receptive, almost deaf to the protein that you consume in your diet. You can eat the protein, but the message isn't being heard as clearly as it used to be. It is entirely possible that your body will not be able to fully utilize the precious protein that you consume in order to repair muscle, even if you are diligently consuming an adequate amount of protein overall. It's like shouting at someone who is hard of hearing. Only a fraction of the message gets through. Now, after hearing about this frustrating problem, what is the solution? How do we make our bodies listen again? Oh, the solution is so elegant and so empowering. The findings of the research are as follows, and this should be shouted from the rooftops: the preservation and, yes, the growth of new muscle, particularly in the legs and the lower body, can be considerably and dramatically improved by simply distributing your protein-rich meals equally throughout the day, beginning with a powerful statement at breakfast. That's it. Instead of shouting once at the end of the day, you speak clearly and consistently all day long. According to the amazing findings of a study conducted by the University of Texas, it was found that those individuals who had nearly equivalent amounts of protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner had mind-blowing muscle protein synthesis rates that were a full 25% greater than those individuals who saved the majority of their protein for their supper. A 25% increase. Just from changing the timing. How come? Why does this simple shift have such a profound effect? It's as a result of the brilliant fact that each meal served as a distinct, separate stimulus for muscle growth. Every few hours, you were sending that beautiful "let's grow" signal, so the signal remained strong and clear consistently throughout the entire day. You never gave your body a chance to forget its mission. Additionally, and this is another pro tip, eating within a short time after light exercise or walking can improve this effect even further, particularly in older persons. When your muscle cells are at their most receptive to nutrition, when they are wide open and thirsty for building blocks, and are able to rapidly take in those precious amino acids for the purpose of rebuilding tissue. This magical period of time is referred to as the anabolic window. It's a golden opportunity you don't want to miss. So let's put it all together. This is a straightforward and powerfully applicable protocol you can start today. First things first, with unwavering commitment. Be absolutely sure that your first meal of the day, your breakfast, contains at least 30 grams of high-quality protein. This is non-negotiable. What might that look like in the real world? It could be a delicious, creamy cup of Greek yogurt, generously topped with crunchy hemp seeds and a handful of sweet berries. Or it could be 3 fluffy eggs, scrambled and topped with nutrient-dense sautéed spinach and a side of earthy lentils. See, delicious and powerful. Now, after completing any kind of physical activity, whether it be a simple, pleasant stroll around the neighborhood, a deep stretching session, or some mild resistance training, the second step is to consume a meal or a snack that contains both protein and complex carbohydrates within an hour. This is the anabolic window. Some wonderful examples of these are a quick and easy smoothie made with protein powder and a sweet banana, as well as a beautiful, satisfying plate consisting of quinoa, hearty beans, and a drizzle of olive oil. Why the carbs? Because carbohydrates stimulate insulin, a powerful hormone that works to improve nutritional intake, which in turn helps to dramatically improve the efficiency with which those vital amino acids are transported directly into your muscle cells. It's like an express delivery service for your muscles. And finally, step 3. When you are eating dinner, for the love of your health, avoid stacking all your proteins into this one meal. The research clearly indicates that your muscles are only capable of producing a certain amount of protein at one time, which is typically between 30 and 40 grams. This is despite the fact that it is so tempting after a long day to store up for the largest meal for tonight. But what happens to the excess? Subsequently, the remaining material that your muscles can't use is either sadly stored as fat or simply oxidized for energy. What a waste! Do you see what you're doing here? When you optimize the timing and the distribution of your meals, you are not only providing your muscles with simple nourishment. You are so much more than that. You are also talking with them. You are having a conversation. Your body is constantly receiving the clear, loving message that it should continue to be strong, active, and vibrantly alive, and that, in fact, is the most important and emotional point to make here. Your muscle is not only responsible for movement, it is also a powerful metabolic organ that actively regulates your metabolism and lovingly safeguards your vitality. It is your armor. It is your strength. And now we will bring all of this incredible information together in our conclusion. We will recap everything from the important role that nitric oxide plays to the incredible power of nutritional timing. And we will provide you with a concise and truly empowering summary, along with one incredibly simple step that you can take right now, today, to fundamentally alter your leg strength, your energy, and your overall health for the better. To have reached this point in our journey together indicates that you have already accomplished the most significant, most difficult stage, which is to acquire knowledge and open your heart to a new possibility. It is now crystal clear to you. I hope that regaining your leg strength is not an impossible feat or a far-off dream. Physiologically speaking, it is a scientific fact when you have the knowledge to effectively and lovingly collaborate with the natural, brilliant mechanisms of your body rather than constantly unknowingly working against them. So, let's quickly review the 6 scientifically supported life-changing concepts that we've discussed so far, shall we? First, there's the magnificent molecule known as nitric oxide, which is responsible for driving rich oxygenated blood flow to your legs, which in turn helps to supply that oxygen, all those nutrients and all that energy to the areas of your body that require them the most. Your muscles literally become inactive when it is absent, and vibrant beetroot, particularly when it is in the form of a concentrated powder, is one of the most potent natural promoters of nitric oxide on Earth. It can cause genuine, tangible, measurable increases in your leg blood flow and performance. Second, we learned about the endothelium, which is the delicate inner lining of your blood arteries, and what an important component it is in the process of oxygenation of your muscles. And in addition, we now know that foods that are abundant in nitrates, polyphenols, and antioxidants have the incredible ability to literally reboot this entire system. Third, we faced the reality of our fast-twitch muscle fibers, particularly those found in your legs, which are indeed susceptible to the effects of aging. Nevertheless, and this is the hopeful part, they are also astonishingly wonderfully responsive to positive changes in blood flow, nourishment, and neurological input. Fourth, we uncovered the incredible relationship between the gut and the muscles. The food you consume not only influences your digestion, but it also directly programs the way in which your brain and your muscles communicate with one another. The amazing impact that beetroot has on the friendly microorganisms that live in your gut is a significant and exciting factor in this. And third, let's call this point 5, to be clear. The timing of your meals, particularly when they are timed perfectly to coincide with physical activity, helps you heroically avoid anabolic resistance and keeps your precious muscle-building machinery active and humming all day long. And the 6th and final point. The one thing that is so wonderfully consistent with all of this is that your body is brilliantly designed to adapt, and it has a deep, innate desire to regenerate itself. It wants to be healthy. The difficulty, the challenge for us lies in providing it with the appropriate inputs at the appropriate times and in the appropriate amounts. It's up to us to be the wise caretaker of this incredible gift. And so the following step for you is as follows. It is simple, it is unambiguous, and it is highly powerfully efficient. Are you ready? Beginning tomorrow morning, you should begin your day with a vibrant smoothie that contains beetroot. You should also include a high-quality source of protein, such as creamy Greek yogurt or a good vegan substitute. And soon after drinking this beautiful elixir, you should go for a pleasant walk for just 15 minutes. Why? Because of this simple sequence, your blood vessels are perfectly primed. The glorious release of nitric oxide is triggered, and your muscle signaling is also powerfully initiated. Then you follow that up by consuming a proper breakfast that is high in protein. It's the perfect 1-2 punch to start your day with strength. Because the science is absolutely crystal clear, even these small, manageable interventions such as a single powerful nutrient, a short, enjoyable walk, or a single meal that is well-timed can produce fast, tangible, measurable changes in how your body performs, and more importantly, in how you feel. This is especially true in your legs, which are not only your physical foundation for movement, but also a direct mirror of your metabolic health and your overall vitality. This entire phenomenon is not limited to just leg strength, not at all. Rather, it is about creating powerful, positive momentum. And as you continue to use these simple techniques on a daily, consistent basis, you will begin to become aware of something that is at first subtle, but grows into something deeply significant. The fact that your legs feel stronger is not the only thing that you will experience. Oh no, it's so much more than that. You also feel more capable in every area of your life. You feel more invigorated, more steady on your feet, more confident in your movements, and most wonderfully of all, more like yourself again. You feel like you've come home. Now I'm asking you, I'm imploring you, give this particular regimen a real honest shot and see what happens for you. And if you found that this video this time we've spent together has helped you see your body and your incredible potential in a different, more hopeful way, I would be so deeply grateful if you would like it. Leave a comment sharing your own story and subscribe to my channel. This community, this group is intended to assist you in not only surviving the challenges of aging, but genuinely beautifully thriving by providing you with these evidence-based, heartfelt tools that are beneficial to your mind, your body, and your entire life. I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you on the path to renewed strength.